man. Like, it's rare that you find such a superstar caliber player with just enough ego now. He didn't have it at all, like to a point where it's a point of criticism for him. But he's such a great teammate. Will do whatever, like just goes for the most correct play every single time. Isn't super demanding. Doesn't get emo during games, right? Like to the level where we can obviously tell. I'm sure he's not a robot. He has swing speed and everything, but I mean, you put all of that into his clutch, fast, play with the AWP, play with the rifle. I don't know what I have to think a little bit harder about it, because there you with Donk, it's all great. Vitality still by far the better team, and not like completely just very well put together team that allows the players to sort of thrive in the environment. Which is a perfect segue into the Coach of the Year category, where somehow wanted to give it to someone other than Xtaz. I don't know, like, people are crazy, like talking about, oh, he wasn't mentioned as much, or we don't know what a coach does. What do you think? So what do you think? What do you think actually he does?
He's the best team in the world.
How little do you think he can do to have that job? And for them to be, I mean, what, you think he brings the water to people? And like are you, are you crazy? Like, we're talking about one of the premier sports, right? And with the structure and everything that they have, obviously he does a ton for the team, and as he did a little bit of a because he was directly asked, he gave some insight. But I think it's the same with the robot situation. Rob, that time where he didn't win Coach of the Year because his character, you know how much he does. You could see what happened to FaZe after Robot as well. Right? Like, not every team needs a blade, man. You know, like, different teams have different needs, and they had an unbelievable year, managing the team for the highs, but being able to maintain that consistency in the first half of the year and win all those events in a row, and still, be able to close out at the major, to close out at the
Go plant bomb.
And to win the Grand Slam. Where I think it's crazy that people were even suggesting
it was up for debate.
Other names, especially that wasn't top 3 for me. It was
I was surprised Halia was in there.
It was Xtaz, Mara, I don't know.
This is where
it's not even because of they won, they didn't. It was a tough year for them with all the roster changes. I can accept that, but I mean, the amount of time you're watching them, you're watching their T side, it's not great. I mean, but you have Donk, it's always good for a round or two. That definitely helps move things along. But the best of teams, like on T side, it's been a struggle.
I think especially this coach one is like a good testament. So many of these things, when I looked over them, I was like, I even tweeted, like, I'd love to make the case for Mara. I think we should make the case for Mara, not as if he actually had a chance of winning the award, but I think it's important to highlight how good of a year he also had. I think it's a testament that we had a lot of coaches, and some of the other awards, a lot of players do very, very cool things this year that should give them some credit and should acknowledge it. But at the end of the day, with these awards, like going through it, you're just like, with the year Vitality had, the number of trophies they won as a team, you're like, there's no fucking argument. Like, I'm going to say this about Mara. I'm going to say this is a really impressive year, and I'm going to position this argument like he deserves to be in the conversation because he does, but in reality, he's not even fucking close to beating out Xtaz as coach.
But it's people making narrative that you want to run with, right? Because again, unless you're close to the team and you physically have been in the room, or you know what the coach does and what they do, you have no idea. You only can tell from what the players say or what snippets we fortunately get from the broadcast and listening. And even then, it's very minimal. Otherwise, you might get to talk to them at a bar or at a hotel hotel, or you can talk to them in a shuttle, or maybe you get a little interview with them on air. Those are the only things you have to go off is the results, right? That's the thing that you have to go off. That's the thing that you actually have as hard, tangible data that you can use is the results. So when people are making cases for these other players, these other coaches, like, oh yeah, but they have these results. Yeah, but these guys have the greatest season of all time. They are in the conversation now alongside of Australis as one of the greatest Counter-Strike teams of all time, and they're still going. So with the year that they had, how, with all the trophies, if you're going to go, oh no, but they had Zywu, oh no, but they had Rops, oh no, but Mezzi was Anchor of the Year, you know, and you can do all the, yo, Apex was in-game leader of the year. What are we doing? Like, there's a, like, it just gets away from us. So we're just making up all these stories as to why we think someone is. It's a story. It's not even. You don't have any real data other than your opinion of the situation, which in my mind makes awards like this and the in-game leader one. The in-game leader one, there's a bit more to go off of. But this is like we're giving away an award. It is essentially an achievement award if a team is as dominant as they were this year.
And listen, I think that's also where the panel comes into play a little bit. You worked on these games, you watch these games, right? And perhaps you see something like, all right, this team played good Counter-Strike, but they were, some of the things, like, they didn't seem like they missed a step with controllers coming in. You can see when he wasn't there for a couple of games in Czech Blue, how they struggled and how when he was back, they were able to make it, and so on and so forth. Finding talent again and again, and for Cyclone, having a new idea at the start of the year, building that consistency, speaks so great. Yeah, the staff and the structure that they put in, I mean, Vitality made a roster change at the start of the year. As if people like tend to forget that Pops only arrived at the start of the year. Being able to slot in is a testament, sure, to him as a player, but also to what they already had in place, where he joined at the last year, everything clicked. Also, I mean, now you have the closer of the year, anchor of the year last year, IGL team, coach, and what happens. It's not a testament to its, or a guarantee of what's going to happen moving forward, but you need to give them their flowers for a year that they had.
I think also there's also an element like when you see like when chat, you see like all the areas in which like Vitality had like Mezzi with Anchor of the Year. You have all these different Vitality players in there too. Like you don't win that many awards if your team is not like playing incredibly. Like you know like you don't win those awards really as individuals all the time. Like Mezzi is getting Anchor of the Year because they learned how to play. They played so well together as a unit. So many players playing that well make each other better.
They only win that many events because of that.
Yeah, and that's where you have to also look and say, coach, this team that's helping this team play this well so consistently as a unit that you have the best players in so many positions. I think some of this too, I don't know if you guys have this feeling, I always have this sense when these awards and I notice that my angle on things is so much different than the average person's like comment that I read in public. I'm like, there's an issue with me having competed that's like separating, like being a good teammate is a skill, is like a talent. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard for me to separate team achievements and team qualities out of individual statistics that most people want to focus on. Because I'm like, there's so many broken people in competitive Counter-Strike that cannot be a good teammate. It is a talent and a skill that you have to learn and develop, just like any other skill inside the game. Yeah, and it's like, in some sense, I am just like, please, we should be rewarding that too, because if you don't develop that skill, you're never going to be on a top team. You're never going to be one of the top players.
Jason O'Toole, man of the year.
That's what I'm going for. I'm going for it this year. 2026 Talent of the Year. I'm going to come in hot. I'm going to get all the fucking community votes. And I'm going to win it all.
Jason, here's the thing. Like, doesn't win that's what I was thinking. We all have to
take him out of the knees.
How many languages you know?
One. But it's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Like, why wouldn't that be something that's voted also by a panel?
Because I think, I don't know,
they're not players, but you include like some journalists, members of talent, POs.
It's just one of these things that where, you know, because there's a lot of other awards as part of that category that so I think that the angle they're looking for is interaction.
Community engagement.
Yeah. And you have to advertise in multiple different languages to get that, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
That's what has to be done.
Gotta work on social.
Because I saw it last year, and I didn't like it last year. It happened again this year, and I didn't like it this year. But you know what? It's going to keep happening, and I don't want it to. I want if we're the only way I've decided is because no one's going to say anything is we have to fight fire with fire. No one else did it. No one else tried to do it. But the only way is to fight fire with fire.
Don't blame the player, blame the game.
Exactly, right? And you know, if that's the way it's going to be played,